So I recently got an email asking about IEOs and ETOs, and I was like, what the heck are they talking about? So I did a little bit of research on IFOs, IAOs. My name is Michael Kubera. Let's do a quick chat about this. For all those who might be just as confused as I was, let's go into the details. Now, before we do, we're going to reload everything. $7,414. Bitcoin peaked at 7,500 plus. The market cap is $5.1 billion away from $300 billion. And a lot of people are in an uproar about this. They're going crazy. Remember, don't let FOMO get the best of you. Only make an investment if you are in a proper position to do so and you feel comfortable and you're in this for the long term. So, with that out of the way, this applies for altcoins, Bitcoin, ICOs, IEOs, and whatever else is out there, where eventually I did find this article on Medium, one of Gary Vaynerchuk's favorite platforms, cha-ching, and this is the Binance official profile. So they talked about IEOs, IFOs, IAOs, ICOs. ICO is the most popular form of raising capital for when you're issuing a token out there. And everybody got super excited about those last year. I was wondering what the heck is an IFO and an IAO. IAO is kind of like Deep Onion did, just an airdrop. And I always kind of wondered, well, what's the official term? Is there an official term? And that's just that. An IFO, as Binance is explaining here, is a forked coin. So we had a couple forks with Bitcoin last year, and some of the Bitcoins out there were just weird that came out, and it kind of looked scamish. So some forks were perfectly fine. The original example was Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, or Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and those work generally well. So people will complain about one or the other, but whichever side you are on, you shouldn't pick a side. That's my opinion, at least. But at the end of the day, they're all cryptos that are kind of forced to be added to an exchange, because if one exchange doesn't add this fork, then there's going to be another exchange that does, and people will just withdraw their funds and move to that other exchange. Or at least that was the whole fear, until there are so many exchanges now and so many forks that is just kind of becoming like a small little issue that's probably going to be worthless pretty soon. Forks were essentially raining money out of thin air, really. Now, an IEO is an initial exchange offering. And this is a fancy term for you're just partnering up with exchanges, and you're also getting away from the word ICO, which that particular word is what a lot of people are looking at. They're like, well, this is different than an ICO. And in a way, it is, because it's including the third party, the exchange, and you have to go through that exchange, which can be a positive or a negative. If it's a rather large IEO, they could have had much more money if they did an ICO, but depending on where they are, they might not be able to do that. So in China, for example, ICOs are banned, but some people are deciding to go, hey, an IEO. That's not illegal, right? Until China would ban that, or they take back the ICO ban, whatever they decide to do. There's countries and areas around the world that something as simple as, hey, it's just a different word, it does make a difference. Facebook, for example, banned for a couple months ICO. Banks were looking ICO. All right, that term on YouTube, the SEO, everything was a little bit affected by it. But this is a rather interesting format, which not a lot of companies are doing, and I thought it was kind of curious. I mean, you guys know about forks, you know about airdrops. A lot of airdrops failed because it's just bringing money out of thin air. This is close to an ICO, but it does have some positives. And the fact that it's close enough, some regions are like, well, it's still an ICO, so it's still illegal, or it's still a security, or still whatever they're looking at. Why do an IEO over an ICO? First of all, you can tap on the existing user base of the exchange, so everybody in the exchange sees that. But if your user base, if your community is larger than the exchange that you're going to do this on, it doesn't make sense. Now, if it's a huge exchange and you have no community, great, that's a positive. You can prevent a gas war, so it's the fees associated with Ethereum, because a lot of the ICOs are ERC20 tokens based on Ethereum, and while you're bidding against everybody. And here it's saying, assuming the exchange is not decentralized, but till date, there have been no IEOs conducted on decentralized exchanges. Number 3, since you are working with the exchanges, it is much more difficult to scam people, and there's been millions and millions of dollars just lost in Ethereum wallets because people didn't know what they were doing. There was a lot of scams in ICOs, which made ICOs drop down in value. ICOs are still extremely relevant, and there's millions of dollars going into this industry. But people are scared. Their trust has been a little bit depleted. If you have an exchange on your side that approves your project, it can influence the fact that more people might want to invest. And the final thing here is getting listed on exchange. Unless you majorly screw up or your IEO fails, that's probably going to happen, and you won't have to go through the paperwork because you already did. Now here's talking about how to participate in an IEO, and step 2 is like sign up for an account with the exchange and pass the whitelist and KYC. Now, with an IEO, you are able to surpass certain places where there's more and more ICOs that are kind of forced to do whitelisting and KYC. You can be in a certain country where you sort of have to do whitelisting and KYC, but if you choose an exchange from out of country, internationally, and that exchange is new or that exchange just doesn't care about whitelisting or KYC, well, that is a rather interesting choice there, because in terms of taxes and the fact that you can continue your project and make some money from it, well, that could be a bonus for some people. And then depending on which exchange you're doing it, you can trade and swap the cryptocurrencies into alts. So my name is Michael Kubera. Which one of these is the best? I still think ICOs, because it's just in terms of how many people are doing it. There's a lot of crap coins out there, but most of them, even if they do fail, ICOs are still a very valid form of raising capital. And you don't have to be an accredited investor, so more people are able to partake in it, which can be a good or a bad thing, but with more security, more regulation, it should be turning into a better world, or that's what we think so. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Michael Kubera, and that is today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you guys.